What's up, YouTube? What's up, Xtreme Gainz family? I'm Chuck, and this is Xtreme Gainz. I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing I say is or ever will be financial advice. Please do not take it as such. Today is Tuesday, January 4th, 2022. This is the AMC ALGO Exposed update, as you have asked for and responded to yesterday, so let's do it again. This is the micro to macro comparison update that I've made in a video. For context, go back, watch it, where the micro 5-minute, you can use the 5 or the 10. I've been using both of them, but this is the 5-minute reviewing tonight. It caught up to the macro here and started printing out the exact macro. It then bypassed it and has continued to trade on that from Wednesday of last week until present day today. And my theory on this is this could potentially maybe be showing us future movement. And it's a theory I have of like a snake algo. I used as an analogy for you to kind of understand it and visualize it. Where the head goes, the tail eventually goes. And if the micro is the head and the macro is the tail, and this is out in front going now, that this will eventually follow the path that the micro is laying. With that being said, I want to explain something about the time of this and how to translate this time between the micro time frame and macro to where you're not jumping on everything that I say in its entirety to the specific little things that I say. But I want you to, it's hard to gauge this from time, right? To take the concept of these movements, the length, the width, the height, the depth of these movements, and translate them from a 5-minute, time frame that has traded over 2 days that I'm showing you versus the exact same matching movements up to a certain point here that have now consumed 18 days worth of trading. So when I'm looking to try to locate where we're at here, there's really not a method that's in stone that says how to do that, right? So the layman's way of doing this is this. This is the only way I know how. This movement here, the W, right? It traded, this fractal shape of this W took 1 day on the 5-minute to trade. On the 4-hour, it took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days to trade. So you got 7 days, 7 days. This is about 8. But if you figure just 7, on the low end, you got 21 days worth of macro time that this micro has shown potentially, if this theory is correct, in 2 trading days with 1 aftermarket pre-hours in between. So you might as well say 3 days, hours-wise, time-wise, right? On a time scale. So you're looking at 21 days. We've traded 18, I believe it was. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Today was day 18. That means 19, 20, 21. Okay? That brings us out. I'm going to pull this out. 18, 19, 20, 21. Now, with that being said, I don't mean this is going to be like this, right? It could be tomorrow. Could be the next day, could be the day after, right? I'm just showing you in concept what it means, right? To think about translating the time of these two, since they're on different time frames, and the movements that we're looking at with a generalized perspective of those shapes and movements, and trying to translate them and transpose them to give a projection, all right? With that being said, I still think this is in play right now. What I'm waiting for I said this in the update yesterday, what I'm waiting for is for this to show me itself on the macro. Waiting for the macro to show me this, right? It's already shown me this thus far, right? This thus far. This is okay if it looks a little more dramatic, a little more volatile. That's fine. AMC is known to have this ongoing, dramatized move, especially to the downside, progressively, as I've watched it throughout the past year and some odd days, weeks, whatever. So this is okay. But what I am looking for is an indication that this thing on the macro shows me this micro movement. And this is what I'm looking for, obviously, right? Looking for this inside corner to form itself and get a real strong move to the upside, right? Whether it's here tomorrow or whether it's on the 21st day or the 22nd day if we're looking at time, right? That means from this is my last marker that I have that I'm pretty definitive about, and that is this rejection right here and right here. So this movement from the rejection to the inside corner before it turns 90 degrees and goes upside move is what I'm trying to figure out time-wise on here. Now, could that be to finish 22 days before it goes up? Yes. And that's what I'm getting at, right? I don't know exactly. This is a layman's way of doing it. I hope it makes sense the way I explained it. I'm just in a holding pattern waiting, but it is still valid to me at this point. If this were to continue to dump out tomorrow, and come back down in the $20 to $22 area, I think it would be real close to invalidating itself. Okay, I do still want to see the characteristics of this thing maintain itself, in the form of, if you look at something like that, I still want to see it. I still want to see it do that, right? I mean, it's not going to look like that, but so we'll come out here. You still want to see it on a slant, right? I don't want it to be flat over here and be parallel. That's a double bottom. It takes away from the characteristic of this entire move, right? So I'm still looking at that. Those are things that I wanted to point out to you. So I do believe it's still valid. I'm still keeping an eye on this, as well as the double bottom macro, right? The single bottom macro that I talked about in last night's update video, it looks like it's potentially invalidating itself. It's come down here. I said yesterday it would have to make a hard move up to close off this shoulder here. I don't think it's doing that. I'm almost 100% sure it's not doing that. Even if it turns up at this point, I think it would more resemble this than it would be a shoulder here. We are still on a downside slant, downtrend slant here, that it could potentially, I guess, I don't know, but I don't feel like that is kind of on the table now. We'll keep an eye on market conditions and all of that as well simultaneously, but I think this lends itself more to the double bottom scenario, either way. With that being said, I want to look at the macro double bottom, right? I've talked about this, and I want to look at that. This is my thought process on the macro double bottom. And thank you to you guys in the live stream for showing me this tool. So this is our current chart. I've been looking at two double bottoms that I believe within AMC's historical self and historical movement that could potentially be what we're printing as far as a double bottom right now. If this continues to work itself down to the confluence of support that I showed, which I'll show again before we leave this video. But anyways, I wanted to show you these. So this double bottom is this one right here. Okay. The big brother, little brother scenario, big brother, little brother, replicating, right? This is what I talked about all this. Please, again, go back, watch the videos for context. This is something that I looked at. Here's that. If I pull that out of here, right, there would be that movement. If this were to continue to come down, it makes sense. It could potentially come down here close to the, well, I'd move it up for now, because this is where it would be until it came there, until it got down there. Right there, we got support. Right, a fake down, breakdown, we double our double, so we get our double, and we move up, we get rejected, fake breakout, retest, and then break out and start our grind up here. If that takes place, I'm going to show you the box top thing in a minute. I'm going to go into that after, if we make it to the end. If you make it to the end, I'm going to show you something. Hopefully it helps you in the intraday. It's something I do, both intraday and macro, which is what you see going on here in this charting style. But anyways, that's that bottom. You can see how that could potentially line up and work, right? Whoop, I overshot there. There you go. See it? Okay. This bottom here is the second. This one's not quite right. This high here didn't make it up as high. However, it's still maintaining the structure for the time being. This is from December 2020. This is the double bottom right before the January run up. There's that. Okay, again, we get the double and the big double and then parabolic, the confluence. These are the two double bottoms I'm watching as far as fractal placement or fractal movement with inside the descending wedge that it's in right now. That one from December 2020. This one from the big brother, little brother. Damn, I always do that. Big brother, little brother. And I explained that in my other video. See it? Okay. All right. So those are what I'm watching as well for the double bottom scenario. Now, the macro. On the daily. This is the confluence I meant on the macro. This is just what I wanted to show you. We're in this giant megaphone, which I've talked about before and for months, that we've been in this. And AMC was in it previously, and then this went vertical. We went into a vertical. Once we blew out in January, we went into a vertical from the old one that we were in, and we're in this new one. This here is where the confluence, confluence all depends on where the bottom is, right? That's if this was to be here. As the bottom moves up and down, the confluence moves in and out as far as time goes. This is just a rough guesstimate. This is not something I'm banking on. Do not take this date to heart. I repeat, do not take this date to heart. If this thing were to be, if the bottom were to come down and confirm itself up here, right, higher, and then go, the confluence moves, okay? I just wanted to make that very, very, very clear. This is just the way I've had it, and I just wanted to show you. It just so happens that these time frames that I've blocked out with these vertical time separators, separating markers that I've put in, one of them runs right down the middle of it on January 13th. I don't think that. Maybe it turns out that way. Right now, I have no conviction whatsoever on that being a date that we run out. Okay? None whatsoever. None whatsoever. As a matter of fact, let me go back here. If you use this double bottom, if this double bottom were to play out something similar to this, like that, okay, you can see it. There's your date on that one. All right, as I said, these are all ranges, people. None of this is in stone. None of this is guaranteed. None of this is in any way, shape, or form even could be right. For all I know, we're going to dump out of here completely. I don't think so, but you know what I'm saying, okay? And this one here is just a grind up out, as you can see, okay? With a breakout of the macro descending wedge around February 2nd on this one. Again, take it all with a grain of salt. I have no conviction on any of the dates whatsoever. Just as I have no conviction on any time frames. Okay, that's the update for the micro, macro, and then the macro, right? With the double bottom scenarios. Now, if you made it this far, I want to talk about something real quick. Well, not real quick. It's going to take a minute, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to articulate this, and I don't know if you're going to be able to understand this. This is something that I do. Let me go back to macro. And this is something that I have pointed out in my daily live streams, and they have watched me day after day after day project intraday movements every single time, on point, every time, and I use this method of doing so, okay? And this is something I have figured out on my own. I don't think it has any rhyme or reason to anything that is, technical that's maybe been taught before. Maybe it does, and I just don't know it. But I'm going to show you what it is that I do, and I hope it makes sense, and maybe you can use it, okay? And I've coined this, what I call it is the box top pennant, right? Or the box top, one of the two. The box top or the box top pennant. Everybody seems to just call it the box top, right? So we've been calling it the box top. What happens is there's two ways of looking at the algo as far as fractal shape from a macro and a micro perspective, right? Because it prints out the same thing on macro as it does on micro. So I'm going to show you both. Right? We print out this box top. You could call it a double top, a triple top, whatever you want to call it, but I call it a box top. It prints out these box tops, then it falls into a descending wedge. So there's two pieces to this. The box top, the descending wedge. And inside of the descending wedge, it always prints a W. Always a W before it goes again, right? Before it breaks out. And then when it breaks out, it goes to another box top. It's just what it does. I'm going to show you on both time frames. You can see it here, right? So what I want to show you is how these will give you, and you can use either one. I have different charts that have just box tops highlighted, and then another set of charts that have just descending wedges and the W's highlighted. So, but I want to show you how I use this, and I have a method of pulling support lines and identifying and highlighting and outlining these things so that you can project price movement, and it takes you to the price movement every single time. Every single time. Okay? So I'm going to show you real quick on macro here. You have your box top, right? You're going to have three support lines. I hope this works out on this one. I haven't done it. Three support lines. Your first one, that's why I call it a box top pennant, because when these originally print, it can look like a pennant here, right? Like you see here. Before it either breaks out or before it breaks out over here. But I've come accustomed to not putting the pennant line in here, just that bottom support. But nonetheless, you see what I mean. Okay? So you're going to have three supports. After the box top makes itself, you can pull a line down. The unfortunate part is you never know how low it's going to go before it does what it does, right? But it makes these box tops, and at the bottom of every box top, it makes a W every single time. And this W then on the right hand leg of the W does one of two things. It either gives you a parabolic move up in the form like this to the next box top, or it dissolves into an immediate box top again right away without a parabolic move. It can dissolve right into it and it becomes another box top and goes down. I'm going to show you examples of both. But I'm going to show you on a macro here for pulling the lines. Those are the first characteristics of the actual fractal shape, okay? So then what I do and what I found is there's three supports. You have the pennant support, which is one, which is where all these will stay above it. And then you'll have a second support that goes and you pull it from the bottom of the flagpole, if you will, right? Or if you're looking at your W, you're going to pull it from the right-hand bottom of the W before the next box top, okay? You go to your second support. Sorry, right here. So there's a second support where this candle come down, caught support, came back up, right? Then you put another line in here. It's your third support. You go from here. Your second, your third go from the bottom of the pool. Your third support, you find where you had support on your third one. See right here, we had support. You pull this out far enough, and you can pull it out as far as you need to until it fulfills itself. You can always pull it back. But it'll always take you to the next either high or low of the next box top right-hand side corner. So when you think about this in hindsight, and I know a lot of you are like, what? Slow down, rewind this, go through it if you have to see what I'm talking about. Go over this, you'll see. Have your charts up, you'll see what I mean. What happens is in retrospect, when this is printing live, you'll get, okay, the box top, you can put your top in. I do this all day on live stream, and I do it live in real time, and it's never off. Read the comments, go to Twitter, people are talking about it. It's It's just something I've figured out over this time, right? And I just want to show you guys and share it with you. This entire thing's about sharing information, and I'm sharing everything I got with you guys, man, for real. Literally everything I got. Nothing I'm holding, nothing back for myself. So do what you want with it. But here's your first support. All right, so it breaks down, right? You draw your box top in. You see where all these are pinning down. You can put your first support in or the pennant. Here's the thing, it breaks down on every one of these box top fractals. All three supports break down every single time. They all break down every single time. And then there's the W at the bottom of every single one. Those are the characteristics. They do not change. Ever. They do not change. And I'll show you on GameStop as well. It's the same thing. Anyways, then you see it, right? Here's your first support. Boom. You get them pushed back up. You can put your first line in. Then it falls through, right? And then it comes down. Boom. Support. You know at this moment, that's your third support. You can draw that line at that moment, right? While trading is happening here, you'll know then obviously it's coming down below the third line because it always breaks all three. And wherever you pull this line out, you know somewhere along this line where after it makes a W, it could be a big W like this, and it could be a small W like this, right? You just have to watch it. But you will know that along this line somewhere will be the next box top high. Now, if this third support is in a downward direction, you're going to know two things. You're going to know that A, the next box top is going to be lower for obvious reasons, and you know that the next W is going to be lower than the W you just printed, which means you have another leg down to go. If this third support is in an upward direction, guess what direction your next box top is going to be? And then your W, and again the thing. So to know you're going to the upside, you want your next box top to be higher than your W. Then you know you're going to the upside. But your third support line will dictate that. Wherever the third support of these candles lands itself will always dictate upside or downside after the W moves, right? Because it's going to show you. This is a downside one, right? I'm trying to find an upside. Here's an upside one. This box top here, okay? Here's the new box top. I'll just use these lines. First support will be the pennant support right here. Probably not going to see them. I have to go down to 1 hour. Sometimes you got to play with your time frames too. I've noticed that a lot. These time frames on different ones, you'll have to, like when in the intraday, I have to use the 5 minute and clear down. Sometimes I got to compress down to the 1 minute to see them all. So, okay, here's where we were, right? There's your W, there's your parabolic move. Here's your box top. Right? You can pull this down. You don't know how far it's going to go. First support's going to go under here. All right, right here. This box top actually needs to go at an angle. Try to spread this out for you so you can see. Okay. First support's going to be up here. Oh, shit. Second support, you always go from, right, the W, we want to go from down here, or you go from the bottom of the pull. It's typically the bottom of the pull, right? I believe that's 2. This, our 1 might be here. I'll have to readjust that. I'm trying to see all of it, and I can't see everything. Yeah. And then your third is right there, right? It broke down the second, come down to the third. Let me move this out of the way so you can see it. So this was your second, that is your first, right? So it broke the first, came to the second support, broke the second, came to the third, made support. You pull the line, it goes uphill. You got a W, you have your parabolic move up, and you have a new box top, and that third support takes you to the box top high on the right-hand side, okay? These will indicate reversals and in both directions, upside and downside, when you get used to seeing these and used to placing these, okay? I'm going to keep moving. I know you're probably like, what the fuck is he talking about? Just start working them and you'll see. Trust me, I want to keep it moving. The video's already been 25 minutes. These are some ones on more, again, a macro and a 1 hour box top. Here's the pennant, right? Here's the breakdown. Down here's the W. This is one that dissolves, okay? You can pull this out, this support out. I could have pulled this out. There's 1. Come down here to 2, right? You come down here to 3, right here. There's my 3rd. It takes me to the next box top. Here's my W. It breaks down. This W dissolves right into a new box top, right? You see the W, there's no parabolic move. It dissolves itself right into a new box top. And then down in for another W, right? Same thing. This works out on the macro. I'm going to go into the micro and show you. And this is what I do intraday. And you can see I've done it intraday over and over and over again throughout this entire thing because it happens every single day. Every single day. Now, downside ones, I showed you the downside or the upside. I'm going to show you a quick example of a downside, and then I'm going to get out of here and let you guys roll if you're still here watching. Downside ones are like this. You get your W. Okay, your W's here, down, up, and it dissolved right into a box top. And here you pull your fall line. Okay, here's your first one that holds everything above in between the box top and the first one. Your first support or your second support was here. Pull that line again from the bottom of the pole here. You pull your third support down. You know it's going down. It takes you down to the next lowest box top, which is here to the right hand corner. Then this one here would indicate a today reversal, just like it's done the past few days, and I've called them out real time as well. May not have today because we were in there talking and we had a guest come in, a couple people come in actually today, but yeah. So this one here, you know, there were no supports or anything, not even on the 1 minute. I think there was one support on the 1 minute, went right into a W and started, you know, building its way back out. But anyways, this is how the downside ones look, right? These downside ones, you pull this third support down. Once you have your third support, you can pull it out, and you know that you're going to come down and make a W below this, and your next box top's going to be down here somewhere, which means it's going to fall again, right? In most cases, unless it's a reversal, so you know you have the next leg down as well before the W gets made, because the next box top is lower than where you're at. You understand? Try it. I promise you. Not only that, it doesn't only just work on AMC. It works on GameStop. This is an algorithm thing, and this is what I used. Wrong chart. This is what I used initially to locate all of these, and I used it on GME. This is how I've used it throughout the entire GME chart this entire past year. Same thing. Box top, trust me, it's there on the 1 hour. Pull all your supports out, your pennant, your second, and your third. Here's the third, takes you to the box top high to the right of the next box top. Again, the pennant, the second, the third. It breaks down all three. You pull, oh, by the way, W. You pull the third out. Third takes you to the next box top. The W gets made right underneath it. Then it blows up to the next box top, which is where you already knew that. You would have had this pulled way out here, waiting for it, knowing that the next top was coming there. Right? Here's your box top. There's your pennant. 1, 2, 3. You pull your third out. Right? There it is. It fulfilled. W, the bottom, then the parabolic move. There are no dissolves on this one yet. Again, and then it got smaller. Right? 1, 2, 3. Same thing. W. And then it blew up to the next box top. You pull the third one out. It takes you to the next box top high. And then we started a downside one here. But I do believe, and again, I said this in other GME videos, I'm just going off of what this method tells me. So, again, this isn't in stone in there. Don't kill the messenger, right? So I just wanted to show you that. So anyways, that's the box top method. That's the box top fractal. I've been talking about these things in my live streams. I just wanted you guys, I've been asked about them. I've showed them in the live streams a couple times, and you can see them here. Box top breaks down 1, 2, 3. You can pull your support out from here to here. Here's your third support. Takes you right to, once you see this stuff, you can't unsee it. Takes you right to the next box top, a W in between, the parabolic to the next box top, down, okay? Same thing. And that it looks like that's what we're doing right here. W, this dissolved into a box top, broke down. W, now we have a reversal. Up to the next box top, comes down, came here, and it looks like, I believe on the 4 hour, we're getting potentially our reversal right here. Come down, it dissolved. This is AMC now. The W, it dissolved right into another box top. It came down, gave us our W, went back up, right? Made another box top. Here's our W, right? It bled into a box top. It came down, and it looks like we might, hopefully we'll get it here. If not, and we come down here for the double bottom, so what? It means we're on our way up then after that. It looks like, and what happens is to the upside and to the downside, these will eventually, if you keep all your lines there, it makes like an hourglass. On the way down to the downside, it makes an hourglass looking fractal shape with your highlighted or outlined lines. And if you keep pulling them down, you'll see that it'll literally taper itself to nothing. And when you get to nothing, the next one is your reversal. Okay? Same thing to the upside. It won't look like an hourglass, but when you get to the upside, it does taper into nothing. And that's your reversal to the downside. Or if you're heading up, 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 and your box tops are higher, 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 just like a normal uptrend, higher highs, higher lows. Your box tops and your W's, you want to be higher. When you get your first box top that's lower, that's your indicator for reversal to downside. Okay? All right. I hope that makes somewhat sense. Just play with it. Rewind the video. Watch it. Have your charts up. Trust me on this. You will see if you can get this licked down and actually implementing this into your days, it will amaze yourself. This is what everybody's been talking about. What my ability to be able to project these movements intraday and macro without missing. This is why. This is the key to it. Okay, it's this method of charting out as you go and or in retrospect. You'll see what I mean. That's the update. That's the box top. I got you guys covered like I wanted to do. Took a little longer, but I got it done in 30. So if you made it this far, appreciate you guys. Appreciate everybody, man. I say it in every video, but I want to make sure that you guys know that it's been great. It's been fun. It's been overwhelming a little bit, but I appreciate all the love and support and all the shout outs from everybody that's been shouting me out and coming and checking out my work, and that I appreciate that as well. I'm just trying to share with the community and get this out and get my methods out and see if it can help anybody in the process. So appreciate you guys. I live stream every day, Monday through Friday, from market open to market close. Come by, hang out in the live stream. We have a good time in there. Great group. It's growing rapidly. I have a private Discord. I'll leave the link to the Discord in the description of the video. Good deal. Enjoy the rest of your evening. If I don't see you again here, which I won't tonight, I'll see you in the next video or in the live stream tomorrow. Have a good night, guys. Later.